This reading is for somebody who's trying to start a new chapter of their life. Like something very important change in this last few months, and they are trying to see what is the next step, but they are a little confused. So this reading is for you if you resonate with this. But before we start, let me tell you, I never reach out to you first for a reading. I will never message you, and this is my only account. Okay, let's dive in a little bit. Oh my God, let me scoop in my chair. So there has been something that has changed deeply in your life, and it has required you a lot of strength. It right here. It seems like it could be at the end of a relationship. It could be a romantic relationship, but it can also be something connected to work or some aspect of your life where a bunch of people or situation were involved. Now the situation ended and you got hurt, and or maybe you were reflecting on all the things that in reality were toxic, and now this change has required you a lot of strength to keep it together or to come out of the situation. And in this moment of I call it, in my tradition we call it the cocoon moment, right, where from the caterpillar you go in this cocoon and it's like your own flesh melt so you can turn into a butterfly. This period has been quite challenging, but it also has brought you a lot of question about who you want to be, what is the next step. And here is where I have the best news for you. This moment of cocoon will be propelling you to be a beautiful butterfly. So what it comes to here is that you needed this big change, this eye-opening situation where things just change and you were not expecting that, because there is a part, there is a sort of like self-awareness that can only be reached, that can only be understood if you go through this process. This is what I see over here. I see that you are in a certain way coming out, like literally comes to mind this idea of you know, a snake coming out of his old skin, a crab coming out of his old skin, but you are also coming out, and this new you that has go through this situation is I know right now it doesn't look like, but it's a better new. Okay, so, and I want you to know that what is it that the place where you're struggling right now is because you are looking at a part of yourself that is very nourished, supported by the divine mother. So it looks like you are a very loving person in your heart, you're very nourished to things and people, but you're actually quite you know, have another part of you that is a little bit dark and this other part of you may have been born by pain, but it also is your strength. And you know how society tells you that you must polarize, okay, so you either are good or you either are bad. I would say that there is not a day without night. And so what appears over here is that the struggle, this you trying to be two different things, the you that everybody wants, and that is also an authentic you that is dark. This has kind of like give you our time to figure it out, okay, which version of me I'm gonna be. I want you to know that both this version are equally strong and equally entitled to live. In my tradition, which is the Italian and the Sicilian tradition, we are not picking one. If we pick is a behavior, thinking, speaking, and behaving out of love, that's the only things that we pick. But a dark side can think, speak, and behave out of love as well, even if sometimes her or his whisper are a little bit chaotic more than behaving out of love. But we do not discard their presence, we actually draw power from it without hurting ourselves and others. If you're interested, reach out, especially if you're confused about what to do with your darkness. The other part, the reading also say that if you are able to balance these two aspects of you without picking one specifically, you will be able to harness a great amount of power. It appears here to me that you can, like water, you can create anything that you wish. And I don't know if it's a project, if it's a family, it comes back the concept of nourishment, and nourishment can be done to family or people, but also to a project that you have in mind, maybe school, maybe a specific goal in your life. What I want you to know, and what I want you to give you here, is tips that can help you calibrate a little bit of your journey and give you information. Well, first of all, you have to go through our process of change, and apparently this process of change has already happened. Now, this is gonna be a journey that can go both way. Either you are gonna explode in a powerful divine work, and it comes to mind like flame of explosion and passion and change and blooming, or either you're going to numb up, which is a place that could be also, I don't advise it, but could be also important for your journey at that moment. Sometimes we need to go really inside to really feel isolating in the cocoon, really, without having intervention of others. But once we need to get out of it, we can stay it in that spot. But once we come out of it, we explode. So it's okay if you are a little bit numb for a little bit, but don't stay in that place. If you need help, please reach out. There's always little tips that can help you out. Okay? I want you to know though that the divine feminine and the divine masculine are looking at the situation. They are also helping you process all the things that needs to be changed in order for you to get to where you need to be. It looks to me like this one may be a spiritual reading, but it also can be any other project. And so what are these things that you need to clean up a little bit? So there is a little bit of shadow self, which is your own energy that is sabotaging you in the background. And here the reading, it's a little bit not sharp in what it wants to say. It say that your shadow self may be your enemy, so it's yourself sabotaging yourself. Maybe you're lazy, maybe you don't want to do it, maybe you think you cannot do it, maybe you go to do it and something, like, guess what, happen and you never do it. But it can also be somebody that is against you. So somebody that is material and it's trying to sabotage your work. And here it looks like you don't have the strength, and so the other problem that needs to be calibrated is the fact that you need to believe that you have the strength. And I also see over here that you don't think you have it. You don't think that you will have the abundance. You don't think that this will really happening. There is some doubts. That's what I meant. And then we have also an opportunity. Okay, you could receive some help from somebody. That could be a spirit guide in the spiritual realm, but also a guide in the material realm. And so, or somebody that is in your field that is going to help you. But this person, this situation, this being is divine sent. And it can also be, it appears to me like it's like this person will find you and you also want to find this person. So it's like you guys meet halfway. And the waiting, if you decide to work with this person, if you know already that there is somebody very spiritual in your side and can help, if you decide to receive help from this person, you will speed up the process of this change and empowerment of yourself. And the final result will be you be in your full power. Okay? So reach out. If this resonates with you, let me know in the comment, and my love to you.